Welcome into Delaware Live Weekly. I'm Glenn Fraser, and with me is my co-host Benny Mitchell. We're at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Middletown getting ready for playoff action as fall sports are winding down. We have our top 5 reveal for football, our Pick 5 segment coming up later on, and interviews with 2 of the hottest teams in the state. We have Smyrna head football coach Mike Judy as the Eagles are flying high with a 5-game winning streak. And just a couple of field goals from here is Appoquinimink High School, where head coach Brian Tipson and the Jaguars reside. The Jags have a 4-game winning streak. These 2 coaches and players will talk about their Week 9 Class 3A game coming up this Friday night that we'll have for you right here on Delaware Live.
And as usual, Glenn, we're joined by, wait a minute, we're alone in there.
It's just us, man.
It's just us. Jason Winchell, happy birthday. He's, I think, down my neck of the woods playing some golf.
Yep.
Mike Lang out on assignment covering some volleyball. Pat Gariantes, he's at the Sixers game, so he's not watching us tonight. And I believe Nick Alessandrini's out in Colorado, coming back tomorrow. So just left the 2 old guys here to run the show tonight, but I think we'll get through it.
The veterans.
But Glenn, let's start off with the recap of your game last week. The team we're going to have up here in a few minutes, Appoquinimink Jaguars, and I've learned to say that correctly now.
Good for you. Good for you.
And the easy one, Cape and Logan Vikings. The first of our 3 childhood cancer awareness games we had last week.
Beantes, who was my color analyst, and I discussed that we had 2 very underrated senior quarterbacks in the ball game. Ryan Von Brand, who passed for 135 yards. He ran for 109 more for Appoquinimink. And then Hank D'Ambrosi rushed for nearly 100 yards and passed for 193. Those 2 had outstanding ball games. But we had a lot of big plays in this game, and most of them early on were by the home team, the Appoquinimink Jaguars. Get ready to roll tape. Took the ball early and drove down the field. A drive stalled. They tried a 26-yard field goal attempt. The big guy Husser with the block. Griffin scoops up the ball at the 33, and he goes 67 yards for the scoop and score, and it's 7-0 Appo early. That got them rolling. And the next time Cape got the ball, they drove again, about a 65-yard drive. You see quarterback D'Ambrosi dropped the ball, threw the timing off, threw across the field, picked off. Dylan Griffin, interception at the 6. He returns it all the way inside the Cape 10-yarder back Ryan Von Brandt. 1 play later, with the read option, keeper goes in pretty much untouched from 8 yards out. So before you can bat an eye, you get settled in your seat, and the Jags are up 14-0.
That's when I turned the game on. I just got home and turned the game on. It was 14-0.
Jaguars again there. That's McConomy running it in. And then this should be an 18-yard touchdown pass to Weatherspoon, who's here tonight. And it's 27-0 right then in favor of Appoquinimink. Now, late in the half, Cape Henlopen, the 2-minute drill, well, it only took them a minute, less than a minute. So the score at the half was 27-7. Cape got the ball first in the second half, but they couldn't do anything with it. But the Appoquinimink Jaguars could. 28-yard run by the quarterback, and he backpedals into the end zone, and it's 34-7. Looks like a runaway at this point. But the next time Cape gets the ball, Daniel Saez will break a tackle, stiff arm a defender, and tight rope down the sideline. He goes in from 33 yards out. It's a 20-point Appoquinimink lead. The Cape defenders to the end zone, and now it's 41-14. D'Ambrosi connects again with Chancellor Johnson. He stepped in front of the defender nicely and took that pass in. That made it 41-20. It's another nice run by McConomy. He had 4 touchdowns, almost 150 yards rushing, and here's the last one of the night right here. Nice cutback move, and into the end zone. Final score in the ball game, 55-27. We were trying to get more points than your William Penn Cape game. Didn't quite do it as the 2 teams tonight. We had the Thursday night special, and then you had the good weather on Friday night.
Yeah, good weather, all right. Talk about setting up pouring rainstorm for the Woodbridge Lake Forest game. We were probably a half an hour from starting, and I'm standing on the track with Marvin Dooley and said, "We're not playing this game." I mean, it was regular turf, puddled up. The track was flooded.
Yeah.
And within 20 minutes, all the puddles were gone, and we played some sloppy football. So here we go. Brought to you by Outtrain Fitness and Performance, our second of 3 childhood cancer awareness games, and it's the Lake Forest Spartans and the Woodbridge Blue Raiders. And these schools not far from each other. Before the game, we had a little stare down. Nobody wanted to come on the field, and finally the referee said, "Let's go." Play of the game. Woodbridge is able to force the punt, and Cedric Stones just runs by the ball. It was a little slippery, but I think that was more looking for blocking. Lake Forest is going to take over. First play after the muff punt, a dart right to the corner of the end zone, and that's a touchdown from Jonathan Tyndall to Jalen Morris, 20 yards, 18-yard touchdown. And then watch this 2-point conversion from Khalif Spencer. Oh, we don't have it. He just goes untouched. But this is the play of the game. The punt over the head, wide right, doesn't pick up the ball much. Wasn't quite sure what to do with it, but he takes it down in his first touchdown of the game and puts Woodbridge on the board, and they go up 14-8. And then here out of the 1-point conversion, they go up 2. And here's another dart. Right, there's only one person could catch that. And that was Colin Hastings from Seth Smart. That was Seth Smart's one of 2 passes of the game. He throws that dart into the corner of the end zone, and Woodbridge goes on to become the first time, which is a part of Woodbridge High School, won the first ever Henley Open Conference championship.
How about that?
So
nice history.
You want Woodbridge to win championships, start new conferences.
And then our third and final game in the.
Right.
It was like a monsoon. Annam against Smyrna. And Smyrna, on the first drive of the game, they turn over the ball. And Salesianum, again, set up by a Smyrna turnover in the red zone. After that, it was all Smyrna. And Wayne Knight, he powers. Then it's Wayne Knight again to make it 14-0. And that's, or 14-7. I keep one.
Got what we had at 6:30.
Here's the biggest play of the game. A little 5-yard pass, screen pass to Wayne Knight. He does the rest. 90 yards for the touchdown. By the way, it was his 18th birthday Friday night.
Homecoming king the week before, 18th birthday the next week.
Celebrated in style.
Let's see what he has coming up for this Friday night, right?
And that was the final score. As Smyrna's defense has gotten a lot better as the season goes on, that's one thing we're going to talk to head coach Mike Judy a little bit later on in our show tonight. But those were the 3 games that we had. They all had exciting plays and big plays. Your game, my game,
right,
and the Smyrna Salesianum game.
I think coming out of the 3 games we saw, Appo's peaking at the right time. They started off, got a couple weeks into the season, they started picking it up. Now late in the season, playoffs just a couple weeks away. They're on a roll of 5, 6 in a row here, 4 in a row.
I'm sure Coach would like 5 or 6.
4 straight. And now they're going to run the gauntlet. But
certainly peaking at the right time. They're also trying to position themselves to see if they can get one of those first-round buys, which is awarded to the top 5 teams in 3A. Meanwhile, the Smyrna Eagles will finish their regular season hosting Appoquinimink Friday night for senior night, and they'll complete the regular season down in Lewis the week after that, November 12th, against Cape Henlopen.
And the other game, Woodbridge, as we said, they won the Class 2A District 3 championship. And I talked to Marvin Dooley after the game. I said, well, you don't have to win pretty. W's look the same. And one thing about Woodbridge is they hold out to win games. This one, they got the last score in the second quarter.
Right.
Usually it's fourth quarter when they're scoring points, but they come out, they fall right behind 14-0 to Lake Forest.
Yeah.
And started seeing some heads hang early, but after the muff punt, or after the long.
Forest too, is they're trying to get in those top 4 in District 3. They'll have a game with Delmar.
They beat Delmar on Friday night down in Delmar, and they're going to the playoffs.
Right. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk to Appoquinimink head coach Ryan Tipson, who brought some of his players with him. We'll do that right after this as our weekly show continues here on Delaware Live.
At Ferris Home Improvements, your family's comfort and safety is always our top priority. If you call us for your roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchen, and bathroom needs, you can expect health screen craftsmen who wear gloves and face masks and follow minimum 6-foot distancing, virtual conferences to discuss project details, job quotes delivered electronically or brought to your door for your review and approval, and our showrooms in Newark and Rehoboth Beach remain open for limited appointments.
Your family's comfort and safety is always our top priority.
If you call us for your roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchen, and bathroom needs, you can expect health screen craftsmen who wear gloves and face masks and follow minimum 6-foot distancing, virtual conferences to discuss project details, job quotes delivered electronically or brought to your door for your review and approval, and our showrooms in Newark and Rehoboth Beach remain.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. Understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community.
Welcome back. Here at the Middletown Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm Glenn Frazier alongside Benny Mitchell. Nick Halliday is producing for us, and we're going to welcome in now the head coach of the Appoquinimate Jaguars, Brian Tipson, and his quarterback, Ryan Von Brandt, Daniel McConomy, Jaden Weatherspoon, Tyron Cooper, Jake Phipps. Coach, you brought a lot of players here tonight.
It's an exciting time at Appo, so we're going to live it up right now.
Smyrna only brought 2, so I think you got them outnumbered.
Yeah, well, they've done this before.
Welcome to the show. That was the first ever in Division I. In coaching stints at Glasgow and Middletown before you got to Appo, he's also coached swimming, girls basketball, extremely successful developing a winning softball program at Appoquinimate High School. So what's next for you? You want some more sports?
Maybe the golf coach? I don't know.
Okay. Let's take on golf, too. How about cross country, track?
I don't think this guy.
No, okay. All right.
First of all, Coach, we had you several years ago, a game against Sussex Tech. It was a Thursday game, so we squeezed it in, I don't know if you remember. And it was the first time you guys had been the game of the week.
Yes.
And now it's getting to be like this regular thing.
Yeah, things are changing. So
yeah, so things are happening up in Appo. And you guys kind of like came out of the woods in week 3 or 4. Big win over Dover. And it's kind of put you guys on the map. And here you are in the conversation for a bye in the first round and with a tough Smyrna team coming up. Talk about the progression of this team coming from week 0 to where we're at right now.
So going into the Dover game, we had struggled. I mean, we were 1-3, and the team was kind of at a pass. What are we going to do? And to credit to these guys and the other guys that are here, you know, they called a team meeting and they said, you know, after we lifted on Monday, they said we're gonna change things, and they wanted to talk, and they brought the team and the coaches together, and they said, moving forward, things have to change. We got to practice different. We got to focus different. And they have, and the last month has been wonderful for us with 4 straight wins. But the credit goes to them. The credit goes to the guys that wanted to come together and say, we're going to change things, and they have.
Kind of like Deion Sanders, and practice is important type thing. Yeah.
That's kind of how they said,
yeah.
We got to practice different, and that has changed, and practice has been fun, and you know, it's working on the field right now, so we're happy about it.
First time I got to look live and in person at your team Thursday night against Cape Henlope, and I'll ask the quarterback now, Ryan Von Brandt. You had a very impressive ball game, mixing the run with the pass. I know you're probably going to credit the rest of your teammates and your coaching staff for calling the plays, but I was impressed with your decision-making on the read option. You have good footwork. Talk about how maybe this year's been different than years past.
I just do what I have to do to put our team in the best position to win football games.
I guess it doesn't hurt being a short guy out there, 6'7", and you can look over top of all of the linemen for both teams and find your receivers and backs out of the backfield.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, they're just running good routes. I'm putting the ball where they catch it, and they take it to the end zone.
So, Ryan, is that good genes? I mean, your parents like 7 feet tall or something? Or?
Yeah, my dad's 6'6", and my mom's almost 6 foot.
Okay, all right. Now, you missed the first few games, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Since you come back, I'm sure that's just helped diversify the offense. Talk about getting back in the lineup and this little run you have, this winning streak?
You know, it was like hard for me at first, you know, coming back from the injury, but when I was finally able to come back into it and get really into it, I feel like a lot of different things came together at one time. It wasn't just me coming.
Pass the mics back to the three guys behind you. Coach, I want to ask you, because I graduated from Middletown High when we had 135 in our class, and it was one high school in this district. All right? This district has exploded. Of course, Middletown's the traditional power. Appo opened in 2008. Odessa, with only freshmen and sophomores, has qualified for the 1A playoffs. And I hear there's a fourth high school on the books they're playing for. So is there enough talent in this district to support 4 successful programs?
I think the kids right now, no matter what school they go to, they're willing to work. And they have great feeder programs in the MOT and the Delaware Ducks that are bringing kids into us. And, you know, if they're going to be there, we're going to coach them up. And, you know, obviously you just mentioned all 3 schools are having success this year and continue to go.
Benny, you got any questions for the
Yeah, let's
guys in the
get to the
back?
meat and potatoes of this interview here. This is the important stuff that people need to know. So I don't know if you had a chance to eat beforehand, but I'm sure with the Buffalo Wild Wings right in town, you guys have been here before. What is your go-to meal when you come to Buffalo Wild Wings? And if it's wings, I want to know what the sauce.
So we saved the hard questions for you.
All right.
You know you eat, so what we got, buddy?
So I come here, I usually get traditional wings.
All right.
I go.
You can take that out of the holder, Ryan.
For me, I normally get boneless. I go half and half as well. I get Parmesan garlic and the other half medium.
That's what I had beforehand when I ate. Good choice.
When I come to Buffalo Wild Wings, I get bone-in wings. You know, yeah, traditional. We're not kids. I like Asian zing. You know, good kick. And then I like to get a sweet tea with French fries. Yeah.
Front 2 guys?
Yeah, you got to answer that question too.
I just go boneless honey barbecue. I keep it nice and simple.
I go traditional, mild.
Okay. Yeah, you can ask him a football question now.
All right.
I got one more really important one before we're done.
You don't want to know what I eat? Because I think up here I'm
Yeah. Come on now. We
It
can't
all
leave the
starts
coach
with
out.
the chili con queso dip.
All right.
You start with the chili con queso dip and you're set for the rest of the day.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We talked about the softball, and you coached my granddaughter,
Did.
who's now playing down at UNCW. I still go back to that senior year and think, what if? And it's a shame those kids lost that. Talk to me about coming out of COVID. You got a limited season in last year, but now we seem to be going back to normal. Talk about how important that is for these athletes, the fans, even for you guys, student body, to get back to normal.
So last year, I mean, obviously these guys, when they played, they had to wear masks. They had to go through that. Starting in September, October was the first game. The spring sport athletes, you know, they were up in the air. It was condensed seasons for the winter. You know, I'm just happy right now that these guys had a whole summer and they were able to practice and they were able to 7-on-7 and some normalcy is happening. You know, as the seniors missed a lot in their sophomore year and now coming back senior year, you know, being outside has definitely helped the situation. And they are out there knowing that they're going to get a full gamut of games, and that's half the battle. And, you know, hopefully when they go back inside for basketball in the winter, you know, they'll get that full slate and get back to the Bob and do their thing and, you know, normalcy to school. And I think the kids will say now they're back in school, there's starting to be some normal. We had a pep rally, and those things are back, and, you know, you get 1,500 kids walking the building, but as long as they do the right thing and where they got to do the cleansing and do whatever, things are great, and you know the athletes get to be part of it, and that's great. They have the high school experience.
That's great. Now, I know Benny's got one of those hard-hitting reporter questions.
Yeah, this is one of those the people have to know. Song you're going to listen to that gets you hyped to put you on the field, ready to go.
What's our top song, guys? Party in the USA?
All right, little Molly Cyrus. All right, like it.
We listen to Party in the USA.
All right.
It's all rap, this, that, but when that goes on, we
Time to go out.
Time to go out, we get excited.
Awesome. Well, we're like to have you guys on here.
Yeah.
Not a far trip, like you said, a few field goals away.
That's right.
And maybe the hardest school to pronounce in the state, but Appoquinimink. I've finally got it.
No, I don't think you did, but that's okay.
Just go Appo.
Appo. There you
there
go.
you go.
There you go. So thanks, guys, for coming on the show.
we appreciate
and
it.
Coming up, we're going to have the Smyrna Eagles, their opponent for Friday night, in the big Class 3A football game on Friday night.
Thank you, guys.
High school athletics is not what it used to be. The sporting goods industry has been disrupted, adding to coach and athletic director daily challenges. BSN Sports stands ready to change the fundamentals of our industry, giving our customers the advantages they need right now. Your dedicated local sales pro is supported with nationwide team service, including sport and category experts. Get the look of D1 colleges and pro teams with our program that streamlines ordering your staff apparel, player gear, and fan wear. Stretch your budget with our fundraising solution. Free and ready in minutes. Our campus branding products are perfect for boosting school and team pride. BSN Sports has the advantages you need right now.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient location.
Whether you're planning to buy a home in 3 months, 6 months, or even a year, let me walk you through the process from start to finish and get your questions answered. I'm a DHSA lender with down payment assistance programs or grant money. I can help those with less than perfect credit or those working on their credit. I'm also local and always have been. So call 302-563-5599 or visit bryans.loans.com when you are ready to get started on your road to homeownership.
It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live.
And welcome back to Delaware Live Weekly here from Buffalo Wild Wings in Middletown. I'm Benny Mitchell with Glenn Frazier, and we welcome Smyrna head coach Mike Judy, who took the job back in 2014, has taken the Eagles to 5 state semifinals, 3 back-to-back championships from 2015 to 2017, and we'll talk about the players we have here in a minute. But coaches, you came in a large group of Appoquinimink Jaguars went out. I was thinking, oh man, I remember one time I was talking.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, they might have you outnumbered a little bit, but it's home field advantage here for them. They're like 2 field goals away.
Yeah.
You know what a field goal is, Coach?
I mean, I'm good.
They put this post in your end zone. You don't know why.
Yeah.
I understand now it's analytical.
Right.
He's right.
You got it.
The players he brought with him, Devin DeMoe, Cameron Edge, Nate Lesniak, Dwayne Radcliffe, a couple of defensive players. You're unique in this state, Coach, because you started, I don't think anybody else has done it.
No.
You stay with defense and offense, and really nobody plays both ways for you. That's one thing that you kind of changed the culture in the state. The other is that wide open passing attack, pass to set up the run. So talk about a little bit of that.
Well, I think the philosophy behind the 2-platoon system really came out of necessity. Honestly, like, you know, I was an assistant coach for a long time, and I personally played in a 1-platoon system. So, you know, I was the guy as a senior. I never come off the field except for on kickoff. You know, they take me off on kickoff because, as Coach Oxford would say, turtles don't play kickoff. So I was too slow in his eyes, but I was fast enough to play linebacker for him. So thanks, Coach Oxford. But yeah, so I had lived that, and I always thought when I went to college, a better version of me came out as a player because I was able to focus on the details of what my position entailed. And honestly, we were in a pretty bad spot in 2014, and we had, I think, 35 total. And, you know, I think they love football, but they hate standing there. It's been kind of in the history books.
Coach, I was there the night that you guys broke it open for Smyrna football. You went down to a Sussex Central. I think it was 2014, maybe 2015. Yeah. Yep. It was Nolan Henderson's, I believe, his first start at quarterback, maybe second.
Yep.
It hadn't been many. And you guys stole a game from them that night. I remember talking to you afterwards. That is a game you shouldn't have won.
Nope.
And you guys, I mean, you just balled out in that game. And you stole a game. And since then, you're like the only team that can successfully go to Sussex Central and win football games. Not many other teams do it. Talk about that night. That kind of kick-started the run.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, it's not easy to win at Sussex Central. So anybody that has been down there knows what I'm talking about. There's like a fog settles in, and the wind, and the grass might be up to your knees, and whatever. And then you got to coach and play against a really good team. Things when I think you need to shake is defeated before they even get off the bus. And that was one of the things we set out to turn around was don't be intimidated by anybody and go out and try to ruin somebody's night. And you know, when you do those things early in your career, you're the hero. Right, you and your team, you're like, hey, you're everybody's favorite team. Then if you keep doing that over time, you become the villain.
Right.
And I like that. I like where we are as a program. That's when people start to hate you in your program, and I'm like, then we have done a good job.
Did you ever think of we don't like you either?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I just let them do the talk.
Right.
Coach, a lot of people, the first thing they think of with Smyrna football now is offense, but you brought a couple of defensive players here with you tonight. I have been impressed with the way your defense has improved week to week, and only given up one touchdown to Salesianum, and really that was a short field. Talk about the defense and the guys you have with you here tonight.
Yeah, well, Nate and Dwayne are both, they're cornerstones of the defense. They both play inside linebacker, veteran players, and we kind of fly around out of our odd front. And, we like to. What I'm most proud of about this defense is we can line up in our base defense and just ball right now. We don't have. They don't need to rely on us to give them the answers to the test ahead of time to like blitz them into things. We're just lining up and playing good football right now, and we're doing it with, these guys being some of the bigger guys on the team.
Right.
Our defensive linemen, Brandon West, Caleb Blaine, Big Nate Chandler, like these are not massive human beings. But one thing about everybody on this defense is they're super tough. They like to hit people and they're fast. So I've been really impressed with how far they've come and our youth. We're still very young on defense. We have a couple of seniors. These guys, they're doing a great job leading this young group, and really proud of them.
Benny, you want to start by asking that wrestler standing in the back something?
Yeah, absolutely. We bring a wrestler in here, like we were talking about the weather conditions. I said, well, he's a wrestler. He'll play in a parking lot, man. He doesn't care. But what people really need to know, Nate, is, and I know it's coming up on wrestling season, so you got to be careful how you answer this question. When you go to Buffalo Wild Wings, what's your go-to meal and your favorite sauce? Now you can always say, Coach Harris, I don't.
Asian zing.
Asian zing.
All right, I want to hear what the other. Let's start with the defense first. Let's see what they.
Let's go, Rat.
I'm gonna say honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the gunslinger. Let's see what the gunslinger eats.
I'm gonna go with honey barbecue too.
Honey barbecue.
All right.
So honey barbecue.
Wide receiver Devin DeMille.
Yeah, I gotta say that lemon pepper dry rub. That's the best one right there.
All right, so a wide variety of
So
selections.
get the mic back to Nathan. And Nathan, it's starting to really come out now where college coaches are looking at football players with a wrestling background. Where do you find your wrestling ability also helps your football ability?
100% in the tackling. And just wrestling definitely builds a background in a player. Wrestling helps you keep your head down. It pushes people to work hard. It's definitely a key factor to a lot of sports. And it teaches a lot of life lessons, just like football, about you have to come in every day, go as hard as you can, and you'll see progress. Nothing gets handed to you.
Let's get the other defensive player in here for a second. The offensive guys, they're the big Showtime guys. We'll get to them in a second. But you brought two of your top tacklers with you, obviously. Dwayne, talk to us about the linebacking core that you have and your brotherhood in the defense and how much you guys really want to just take it to the other team.
Yeah, well, I think I'm coming off not as a strong start in the beginning of the season, letting all these points up. The linebacker core, we all got a strong bond. We're all really strong. We know what we're doing. We do our job very well, and we like to hit people. So that's a plus too. And what was the other question? Like
the brotherhood, the family atmosphere there.
Yeah, our brotherhood for everybody. It's not even just the defense. We got a strong brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? It's just Smyrna. Smyrna football is a very strong thing in all of our hearts. But the defense and linebackers brotherhood, we all have strong. We all have a group chat. We all hang out, all that. And it's like when we all hit each other, and we're always there to congratulate each other. So it's like we have a very strong bond, and we just like doing what we like doing.
Cool. All right, now let's bring in the gunslinger that you call him, but Cameron Edge, maybe the top quarterback in the state this year as far as what I've seen so far. I'm impressed with your footwork. I'm impressed with your deep ball. You throw a lot of short passes as well. You got to have, for that out route, you got to be able to throw the ball across your body and get it out there. But you've got so many weapons. Talk to us about the rest of your offensive brethren and how much they help you out during the season as well.
Thank you for the compliments. I think that's the biggest part of it. It's not because of me. Aiden's had a lot of success. Nolan had success. Isaiah had success because of the group around them every year and the coaches we have developing them. You guys don't understand how much time we put in to getting there. It's not just because they're super athletic, because they are. They're freakish athletes, but they put a lot of time into their craft, more than big-time schools in the country put into their craft. And it makes it really easy for me, and what people on the outside don't know makes it even easier. It just makes it to where when something goes wrong, like when you play in a monsoon or you go into halftime and down against a team you shouldn't be down against, there's not a worry about anything, you know what I mean? Or you lose to a team and you know you're going to see them again, there's no worry about what's going to happen the next time you see them.
You seem to be Mr. Cool there in the pocket too, not afraid to take a hit, not afraid to take a sack, and you wait literally to the last second to get rid of the ball. Case in point, the screen pass to Wayne Knight Friday night at Salesianum, where he goes 90 yards, but you backpedal into the end zone, you draw the defenders in like you're supposed to, you wait till the last second. It takes a lot of discipline to do that, and that's very impressive.
Thank you.
How about the wide receiver behind you? If you pass the mic back to Devin DeMo, who's made maybe more athletic catches this year than I've seen up and down the state. There's a picture that we saw of the St. George's game where you split two defenders and go up for the ball. Yeah, you've made some really good athletic plays this year, there's no doubt. It was a top play, yeah.
It's crazy.
Talk about the bond between you and the quarterback. Like, does he know? You guys seem to be on the same page all the time.
Our chemistry's been there. It's always been there. Like he said, first time he put a helmet on, I was right there with him. We talk every day. It's a connection. This is how it is.
Yep. Great job by
All right,
you.
so it's time for some hard hitting.
Yeah. Hold the mic there for a second.
Reporting. People have to know. We always have these people have to know questions.
Yeah.
So as you're sitting before you go out on the field, I know you guys go out a little early. I know you got the earbuds in. What's that top song on your playlist that's going to get you out there, get you hyped, ready to go on Friday night? What's the song that you listen to?
The song that I listen to, it got to be something by Meek Mill. It really don't matter what, but yeah, Meek will get me. Yeah.
All right, we got here we go.
Quarterback, yeah. Everybody answers this one. Nobody gets off the hook.
I don't know the name of the person that sings it. It's older song, so you guys should know. Fire and Rain.
Yeah.
Right.
James Taylor.
There it is.
JT. Yeah, see, I'm the oldest guy.
Yeah, he's older than me.
And you, sir, Mr. Lesniak. I mean, Mr. Radcliffe, excuse me.
This might be crazy, but I don't really listen to music before I go in the game.
No.
I just stare off and I just like think about how I'm about to bring pain to the other team. Like that's what I think about. But.
Let's see what the wrestler listens to.
So I listen to All of the Lights by Kanye West, but I have to listen to the interlude with it.
So right before you guys come out of the locker room and you head out towards the field, is there anything that you do together as a group before you go out? And if so, what is that? Anybody, just chime in.
We have both our D-line coaches give a prayer. Then Wayne Knight comes in and does what his brother did, the same prayer after that. Coach Judy gives a speech, and then it's like after that, it's time to go. You know what I mean? And for me, it gets very emotional every time at home.
Yeah.
Because I said that's where our first games all together, all of us that play together, Pop Warner, that's where we played at. And when we run onto the field and line up in the end zone, and you see the sea of red, that chokes me up just about every time. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm here for. You know?
And now you guys got that new inflatable eagle to run.
That even added up. We've never had that. Yeah. So we never had it in Pop Warner. So it was fun to have it, but either way, it's really fun to be with them and to run onto the field every time. I do it every day.
Coach, final question for you. I know you really care a lot about these kids and the learning process. It's a teaching process as well as just coaching football, but talk about what the word family means.
Football is in my estimation, having played a lot of sports, it's the ultimate team sport in the aspect that each one of these guys are given a job to do each and every play. And our team's success is totally reliant on each one of those 11 on the field doing their job. But we don't even, you could leave it at that, and it paints the picture of what it's like. Like, you need your football family to be able to do the job each night. But then you throw on top of it, we have 22 separate starters. We play 33 to 35 different kids on a Friday night. All right, I would challenge anybody in the state to do that. Where more people have a true part in this game, and they're given the keys, the coaching staff, but we always kind of use this term like for your brothers to the left and your brothers to the right. When we talk about it every Friday night, when they walk out on the field, we've done our part, and we're going to try to continue to pull the strings and help you guys guide you tonight. But the people you have to rely on are these guys to your left and to your right. And just like many of us that grew up in a tight family, or even those who grew up kind of like fighting, fighting for stability, fighting for those things. It's hard to do on your own. And football is one of those sports it's impossible to do on your own. You need everybody. Top of the roster, best player on the roster to the bottom of the roster. You need all those dudes to be on the same page, willing to sacrifice, do what it takes. And then, so that's just to try to win a game.
Right.
Then it's how you go about your business throughout the year. Every little decision you make, every little thing that you do, whether it's behind closed doors or in school or in public, you got to know that it affects your family, not just the family that has your same name, but your family of brothers that play football with you. So it's taking that concept because it's so true. I've been involved with football I'm 43. I think I played my first game when I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10, for over 35 years, and it's never failed. It's never failed. That concept has never let me down. Is if I do something stupid, it's going to affect these guys.
Right.
And even as a coach, it's the same thing. So when we talk about family, it's not just to win a game. It's about how you learn to live your life and be a man, be a young man that's going to be a man someday who's going to contribute and be a great husband, a great father, or whatever. And then on top of that, when these guys go off, like we have a whole brood of kids that have come through the program and they're off in college or they're done with college. Some of them are back coaching. Some of them are back in the district working. We try to go see them, and it's like we have an alumni dinner where around Christmas break, we bring everybody back and sit them down and they just sit down with the coaches and their families. And, that's, to me, it's like that fraternal brotherhood extended out there, not just to the players, but also to their families, their parents. So he was like a father figure to so many young men that needed him. And even me, who my dad was a great father, he was still there if you needed him, and he'd call you and check up on you. So to me, football is just a game. It's a child's game until you start to throw that stuff in there, and now it becomes a way of life.
Folks, you're looking at the first ever champions of District 2 in Class 3A. Congratulations, guys, on the season so far. Good luck the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs. Thanks a lot for joining us. We appreciate you coming out.
Thank you, guys.
All right, coming up next, we'll talk football rankings right after these messages.
It's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier?
And welcome back to Delaware Class A. No changes again this week, Glenn. Laurel, 7-1, ranked number 1. St. Elizabeth, 8-0. Indian River, 4-3. St. Andrews, 6-2. Seaford, 5-2. Let's look at some of the scores from last week in Class A. Seaford beats Early College 52-8. That's the second time I believe they played this year.
Yeah.
Number 4, St. Andrews. They traveled to Frederick, Maryland, and they pick up a win 31-28 on Saturday over the Maryland School for the Deaf. Number 3, Indian River beats First State Military 35-0 on Saturday afternoon. And the number 1 Laurel Bulldogs, I'm sorry, I just wrong. Laurel beat Seaford in the 129th time the Bulldogs have and the Blue Jays have played, and the Bulldogs extended their win streak to 19 years in a long-running series.
Wow. So, Benny, the playoff field is set for 1A. The top 4 in District 1 are St. Elizabeth, St. Andrews, Tatnall, and Charter Wilmington. Top 4 in District 2 are Laurel, Indian River, Seaford, and Odessa. But those teams could flip-flop a little bit.
Yes.
The Seaford Blue Jays host the Ducks this Friday. That's a battle for 3rd place. And then another interesting game will feature Laurel at Indian River for 1st place in that division.
That's always a big game. Laurel in the early college is not going to finish this year's football season. So, and it's all the seeding. A lot of things. That's going to take Indian River down to, I believe, 8 games because they missed the Brandywine game due to COVID earlier in the year. Be interesting. Do they pick up the forfeit? Do they just take it at 8? We'll see. See what they do. No bunker notes. It's Jason's birthday, so he was locked out of the bunker. He's off playing golf. So next week we'll give you a little more, and we'll know a little bit more about how the state tournament looks. So let's switch to AA, Glenn.
Yep, the rankings for this week. Archmere 8-0, number 1. DMA following them, also 8-0, number 2. Woodbridge 8-0 at number 3. 3 of 4 unbeaten teams in the state are all in Class 2A. Then Caravel, a real good Caravel team at 7-1. Their only loss to Woodbridge. And number 5, Wilmington Friends. So let's take a look at some Class 2A scores from last week. Number 5, Wilmington Friends over Brandywine, 35-14. 4th-ranked Caravel gets a shutout win Sunday night over Delmar, 21-0. Number 3, Woodbridge with a game you did, Benny, over Lake, 22-14. Number 2 on Class 2A. Big game, Class 2A District 3, as we mentioned, as Lake Forest travels to Delmar. That'll be the last game of the season. Isn't that right, Benny?
That is correct. Laurel, Delmar will be the last game of the season.
Yep. All right, now to 3A, and you got
talk about that, how big this game in Lake Forest is. I'm sorry, it's not like it's week 9. It's this week.
Oh, it is.
But
Okay.
why is that a big game? Because Sussex Tech goes out on Monday, beats Milford, and drags Lake Forest back into the talk of playoffs. So the winner of the Lake Forest Delmar game on Friday night is probably going to clinch that 4th spot.
How about that?
For Class 2A District 3. And we're down to just 4 undefeated teams left in the state. 3 of them in Class AA with DMA, Woodbridge, Archmere, St. Elizabeth, and Class A. Glenn, who could go down this week, if anybody?
Yeah, Benny, I don't think anybody. I think they all get wins this week, which will set us up for the last week of regular season, the weekend of November 12th. And that's a big game that you can hear right here and watch right here on Delaware Live. DMA and Archmere will play against each other. And then Woodbridge's final game will be against Howard up at Absinio. And I think Woodbridge might pull through and get that undefeated season. But
we know DMA and Archmere, one of them's going to have a loss.
Exactly.
And then St. E's and Single
could be,
probably going to be one. So let's talk AAA. There's no movement again in their rankings. Number 1 ranked Middletown at 5-1. Smyrna ranked number 2 at 6-2. Dover ranked 3 at 6-3. St. George's at 5-3, ranked number 4, and Slasianum at 5-2, ranked number 5.
And some scores from last week. Smyrna spotted Slasianum 7 and then outscored the Souths 28-0 rest of the way in that monsoon. Number 1, Middletown's game at Arundel was canceled, so the Cavaliers have played just 1 game in the last 3 weeks, as they were also canceled against Slasianum. Dover handled William Penn 34-13. St. George's had a close game in the Castle, winning 9-3 over Sussex Central. And the Apo Jags outscored Cape 55-27 last Thursday. So this weekend, number 5, Slasianum at number 3, Dover. Number 4, St. George's at William Penn. Number 2, Smyrna host Apo. That's a game you can watch right here on Delaware Live. And then number 1, Middletown hosts Sussex Central.
So going to our final 2 weeks of the regular season, looks like we have, from your calculations, the 3A teams seeded, including bonus. Middletown, Smyrna, St. George's, Sally's, and Dover would get the byes. And then Apo, Central, William Penn, Hodgson, Votech, and CR. That would mean CR would travel to Apo. They played to a 6-0 game this year. Central would host Hodgson, Votech, a team they beat 35-6. And Cape would go to repeat that wild one, 52-38. But this time it will be on the grass at William Penn.
All right, Benny, we want to go right into the handful challenge. If you want to just talk about that briefly, the final results, and then we'll get to the top 10 plays of the week.
So as you know, we did a new segment this year of of our fall picks. We changed it to a handful challenge, where each person picked 5 games. 3 in football, 1 would be an upset. 2 in any other sport, 1 had to be top 10. Well, the regular season for most of the sports is over, so therefore our picks segment is over. We'll be starting a special playoff one next week when the brackets are revealed. So here are the final results for this fall's handful challenge. Mike Lang, he brings up the rear with a strong 5th place, finishing with 175. Pat and Nick tied for 4th with 200. Glenn, in your inaugural season, finished just behind Jason in 3rd place with 253. Jason is the runner-up, finishing with 264. And Glenn makes it back-to-back for me, winning the fall challenges. So we'll go into and we've never had to have a winner because we got shut down from COVID the last time we did that.
That's right.
So we're going to have next week, we're going to start a special tournament segment. And I did this, by the way, without picking a single volleyball game, which was my strength in 2019. And so now I'm going to be a force to contend with in this tournament, because now I'm going to have to pick some volleyball games.
There you go.
So coming up next week, we'll start our special tourney challenge.
All right. Let's just recognize a couple people real quick for their performances. Jaquan Kilby from Dover rushed for 209 yards on 29 carries, scored 4 times. Kelly Davis from Del Mar, he allowed only 3 goals the entire season and only 4 goals over 2 seasons. That's phenomenal. And then Daniel McConomy, we had him on the show earlier. 4 touchdowns versus Cape, rushed for nearly 150 yards. Now, Benny, it's time for our favorite part of the show. What'd we forget?
We added one.
Oh, we had another one. Okay.
Number 4, Sean Carroll. Carroll blocked a first quarter field goal, scooped up a fumble in the 3rd quarter, and returned it 51 yards from Mount Pleasant. At Salisbury at home in our top performers. Kenny Newton of Woodbridge, 39 carries. I did not stutter. 39 carries, 166 yards, rushed for a touchdown, threw for another.
How about that?
So Kenny Newton from Woodbridge. And so let's get to the top 10 plays of the week.
Dun, 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 dun. Sponsored by BSN Sports. For more information, contact Nick Halliday.
Well, I know that. I know him. I know that guy.
Yeah, we got some great stuff, that's for sure.
So Glenn, you want to start it off?
Yeah, number 1 is your volleyball sport. This is a Padua player, Morgan Bond. Watch her get opponent's serve. There's the set. Boom! Wow. Take that. That's Morgan Bond of Padua. That's number 10.
Number 9 play. I love it when the big men get involved. Watch this one-handed pick.
Tower Hill,
and he's gonna run it about 20 yards and get down inside the 30.
All right, the next one, we go back to volleyball because Taylor Holly from St. Mark's had a couple of diving saves. There's one. Here's the second one coming up. A couple of nice saves by Taylor Holly of St. Mark's Spartans.
How about the student section in the back for the
number
whiteout?
7? This one here, they're up by Mansfield. It should have been an onside kick recovered by Cape. Instead, the official said no, it was illegally touched.
Go Daniel Sias from Cape and Open as he's going to take the handoff, go left side, bounces it out, stiff arm, get out of my way, and then rolls down the sideline to a touchdown. Daniel Sias, Cape and Open.
Why don't you take the next one because it was your game, right. Lake Forest.
Oh, here is the old Jalen Morris. He'd already caught 1 pass for a touchdown. So we're going to do a little trickery here. We're going to toss to Jalen Morris, and he finds a wide-open Johnson Oakley in the middle of the end zone. Touchdown for Lake Forest. The Spartans took a surprising 14-0 lead early in the first quarter in that game.
All right, coming up at number 4, it's Chancellor Johnson for Cape Henlope, and he takes this pass, and look at the yards after catch. There's the catch after about a 15-yard pass.
Big play guy here down the middle to the end of the season.
Now here's Daniel McConomy.
Go ahead.
60 yards, he takes this. Burst gets a great block at the point of attack, and he outruns Messick and the rest of the Cape defense to the end zone. House call by McConomy. And how about this next one by the birthday boy?
Oh, yeah, Wayne Lane. We talked about this earlier. Cameron Edge backpedals into the end zone. Horrible weather conditions. out to Wayne Knight, and Wayne Knight does what Wayne Knight blocks. He made 2 blocks and into the end zone.
Yep, great
Knight,
job.
Party of 1.
And our final number 1, this is in the Cape Apo game. Elijah Husser is going to break through, block this field goal attempt, and then a scoop and score, top play of the week. Well, we had fun with those ball games.
Yeah, at least you had good weather.
Yeah, Thursday night was pretty nice,
right.
I got to tell you. All right, Benny, do you have any shout-outs or final thoughts?
None this week. I just won our games again this weekend. We're getting down to the end of the season. It's going to be playoff time. It's just not going to be football. We're going to have some volleyball. We'll have some field hockey. We'll have some soccer. I don't know if we're going to do we have done cross country in the past, cross country championships. So look for us. The Delaware Live crew will be bringing you some other sports. Also check out Delaware Live for our sports articles.
Mike Judy and their players for participating in the show tonight. Special thanks to all of our sponsors during the shows and games. We hope you patronize their businesses. And if you're in the market for any of their products, please contact them. Let them know you saw their ad on Delaware Live Sports. They're all locally owned and conduct business with true professionalism. Without them, we wouldn't have our shows. Remember to tune in live next week on Wednesday at 7 as we highlight the final regular season of football games and discuss those other sports as it's playoff time. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night, folks.
How you doing? My name's Mike Cassidy. I'm the founder and president of Cassidy Painting. I started back in 1984, incorporated in 1986. I never had the word no in my vocabulary. When someone called me to do a job, I always said yes. Whether it was a struggle, whether it was 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, it didn't matter. And with that philosophy, we were able to grow to the size we are. We employ close to 80 individuals.
We really enjoy being in the family business. I look forward to coming to work every day, and it's so nice to work with the people that we work with in the office. We've really become a...
Cassidy Painting is a very diversified company. We don't say no to anything. We deal with everything from epoxy floors to painting buildings to spray foam insulation, spray fireproofing. If it deals with a coating, we can handle it. So when our customers call and they're under the gun and they know the need to get a job done, they know who to call because we perform. We've always been performed. We've never been replaced out of 37 years of business. For any of your painting needs, we can handle it.